All the stocks are in the red, the pound's at a new low, things are just looking fantastic, aren't they? Welcome to another portfolio update. Today, well, we have good news and we have solid bad news across the board for most of the stocks. However, with dividend investing, it's not the end of the world. In fact, it could possibly be an opportunity depending on how you look at it and the way you invest. So, current holdings value is $2,268.95, a loss at the moment of 8%. Now, things are trading at the moment. It is actually the afternoon. So, everything here is live. And I'm just on my lunch break and I thought, we're up £1 there. We're not doing too bad. But yes, we are down in the red 8%, £205. Now, we have breached the 2,000 invested mark. That's fantastic. I wanted to reach that by Christmas. I have managed it a lot sooner. Plus, I'm also just getting rid of a few things sitting around me that I didn't need. So I should have a lot more in it. I'm actually going to up it to hopefully about $3,000 before Christmas, which is a hefty thing. But there is opportunities that I personally see in the midst of all this. So let's jump into it. Holdings, 14 holdings, which means we've lost 4. We've actually lost a lot more than 4. I think I've sold off 6 or 7. We have a few new picks, so we've lots to talk about. Let's get right into it. Okay, so who's the first contender? We have Royal Mail, a staple, currently down 300, its current value is 372. That's with 200 shares. Now, return at the moment is minus 41.80. Now, that's not the biggest problem in the world. It is down 10%, but I've been cost averaging into it because I've been changing my investing methods, simply because I am learning so much as I go along here. I'm completely self-taught. I don't really have a super financial background. A lot of you know that, and I appreciate all the advice and comments and everything that you give me because we're all on this journey together, learning as we go along. And because I do have a relatively small portfolio, changing course and changing, when you learn something that you can pick it up and adjust very quickly. That is something that I do really value about this. And I hope some of the lessons that I learned can, of course, be given off to some of you. Now, none of this is financial advice, but you knew that anyway. Nextly, we have Airtel Africa, down 13%, still a dominant position at a target of 15% in the portfolio at £321. Followed by Greggs. Now, Greggs will be expanding into my little town very, very soon. I'm much looking forward to it. I do like their products, their service, and I love their financials and future prospects of the company. I think they could do very, very well in the coming couple of years, and they have a good track record. So they sit at a solid 10%. They're also 10% down, so I will be buying into them and averaging my cost price into Greggs. We have DS Smith, a cardboard recycling company. Cardboard manufacturer and recycling company. You get 2 for 1 on that one. Down 5%. They're up 10. They are 11% of the portfolio now. At £250. Now, we have British American Tobacco. I traded out Imperial Brands, yeah, I know, once again, because it's been yo-yoing between them, but I finally had an ultra deep dive into both companies, and it came out British American Tobacco. So, for now, they are firmly staying put. I will be doing a video comparing the two companies, well, maybe all the tobacco ones in the UK, in another series and vlog, so stay tuned for that. National Grid, a staple for most dividend portfolios, as is Legal in general. A lot of you are very aware of both these companies. I love them. They have very solid backgrounds. Future prospects is a bit iffy for National Grid because they are pretty saturated at the moment. They have done very well. They're in a dominant position, and I don't think there's anyone coming to really compete with them. But things could change. They're down 13%, so could be an opportunity. Could maybe be a sign of other things, but I'll be having a look at them. We have Legal in general. I bought 50 shares of them very recently there to bring them up to a total of £149. Down 12%, so again, another cost averaging job there. Associated British Foods. Now, this was Tate & Lyle, for any that remember one of the first videos. Then it changed to Cranswick. I don't know if the last video had Cranswick or it didn't. But essentially all three very similar companies based in the ingredients sector, food and ingredients. I did an ultra deep dive into all three of them, came out on top ABF for a variety of reasons that I'll discuss in a later vlog series. I do have a vlog series that runs alongside this where I do individual companies and my thoughts and just general rambling, so be sure to check that out if it's something that you'd be interested in. Smith & Nephew medical equipment, again, they were down quite a bit and I was buying into them, and they're actually still down 5%, so they'll continue to stay at 5. Very good company. They do have a good bit of debt, but I think all things considered, solid choice in the portfolio. Burberry Group, luxury brands, they are the only one that are up at the moment. They're up 16 pence. I haven't bought any new shares in them. They've kind of stayed pretty stable at the moment. Oh, don't go into the red. If you go into the red, Burberry, they're all in the red. Yeah. They're trading at a pretty decent, well, I'll say a decent price, maybe overvalued, some people think, but at the moment they're going to maintain 5% of the portfolio. We go on to Relax. Now, the thing about Relax is that, again, the reason Shell, Diageo, Bunzl, you'll notice they are not present at the moment. They have been sold in between videos simply because they were trading at near all-time high prices. They were growing dividend stocks. I'm not saying they're bad picks for anyone's portfolio, but I have changed up that I am now investing. I'm trying to find as good a value in the midst of all this chaos that I can find, so that coming out of it, I will have picked up some, decently valued dividend stocks. That could also mean that some come down. Now, Diageo, BAE Systems, Shell, they're all ones that I'm currently watching. If they come down, going into the next 12 months, they will certainly rejoin the portfolio. The portfolio was meant to be fluid. I'm not going to stick it. It's not going to be as solid steel. The reason for that, I think adaptability is really, really good in this instance for a small portfolio. If you're a much larger portfolio, being stable is probably a good idea. But at the moment, because I am able to jump about and I learn a lot of new things doing so, it's definitely a good learning curve for me. And going into this completely uncharted territory of a recession, I say uncharted, it has happened before and some people did do very well out of the last recession. It is terrible all round for just general standard of living for everyone, mortgages and whatnot. But again, investing to me is sort of an emotionless sport. You've got to find opportunity where you can and go for it. So they are there at the moment. They may not be. They may be relegated to a watch list and a sold off stock at a loss of £5. But again, we'll have to see. RS Group, an electronics conglomerate that I've picked up recently. I had a good look at them and they've definitely ticked a lot of the boxes for a good value pick at the moment. Coats Group. Again, Coats Group, very interesting one at £156. It occupies 7% of the portfolio. It is one of the world's, the world's largest manufacturer and distributor of sewing thread, which this town that I live in was built on textiles, and therefore there's a bit of family history and a few other things. I will be discussing that in depth in a blog, in a vlog that'll be quite good. I recommend you check that one out. But yes, I found them financially, future, everything about them sort of give me a green light. I really like this company. I've done a video on them on my channel here that you can look at. And the Coats Group are here to stay for at least another good while. Followed by Dr. Martens. Now, Dr. Martens here, a few of you heard me in my last video talking about them. Solid pick. They've been doing very well, outperforming most of their rivals. And I think they're actually quite undervalued. And they're still down 10%. As you can see, everything's down between 5 to 15%. And it's probably going to get worse because I was doing a bit of research. Average recessions, it's actually sort of 30% down, which is pretty rough. But we're into the eye of this. Well, not the eye of the storm. We're into the storm, and we're just going to have to see and hope we get through it. But again, I hope this video is a bit of a learning experience and I can provide a bit of insight. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Of course, I couldn't have got this far without yous, and it's fantastic you are joining me along on this journey. I couldn't speak there. Okay, we're on to Simply Wall Street. Now, a fantastic platform that I do use. I use it for screening stocks. I use it. The information that this gives you in the visual form is unbelievable. So I picked up a full membership. I think it's £180 for a year. I don't have any affiliate links as of yet. If I do acquire them, I will put them down in the description for you for any free trials and whatnot. But you do get, for the free profile, you can check like three companies a month. So be careful what you pick on. But yes, definitely recommend using it. It's a solid website. You will notice Dividend Tracker isn't present, or is it? No, it is. Okay, Dividend Watch, sorry. It wasn't doing fantastic with British or UK companies in the London Stock Exchange. I don't know what glitch or what happened, so I won't be recommending it anymore. The only useful thing I use it for is just seeing what I should be getting per month. But what I am thinking is transitioning, like most YouTubers that do this type of content, into doing my own spreadsheet. I will be looking into that. So if I do end up building one or making any decent one, I will make it available to all of you. I won't be putting it behind a paywall or anything, because to be honest, I try to give as much free resources as I can. I'm not here for anything other than to just give as much help as I can, because I'm doing the content that I wanted to see. I didn't see it. Now, portfolio updates, there's loads of them, but there wasn't many very low ones. You know, there wasn't any just starting off. This is a clean start of me doing dividend investing. Well, dividend investing, but it's evolving a wee bit. You know, there's a bit of value hunting as well with dividend stocks. So yeah, it gives me a lot of an analysis on this just one page here. We can sort by market value. We can sort by value scores. They do a wee snowflake system here, as you can see, where it goes on the values of the company, the futures, the past performance, financial health, and the dividends. Currently scoring very, very well across the board. You can see it's determined that this is a very undervalued portfolio with a solid track record, and it pays a good dividend. Currently I'm down £129 according to Wall Street now, or simply Wall Street. It's being nicer than Trading 212. Trading 212 is trying to give me it gives me more the sell price as opposed to just current value, which is a bit different. But going on, this gives me all the news for any of the latest companies. We can go down here to see returns and then sort of market volatility. It gives me a few really cool graphs. Now, this is where it kind of beats me when I'm down, and sort of it tells me, look, everything's in the red and orange. It's not great. But diversification, what do we have now? Well, it fits on one screen now. We have telecommunications with Airtel Africa. Food and beverage is covered by the tobacco and the packaged food companies of Associated British Foods. 17% is consumer durables, so that includes luxury brands, textiles, and footwear, covering a pretty nice, consumables and apparel and clothing and textiles. It's something that I think is not recession proof, but I think it'll weather it quite well, because we all need that no matter what. Consumer services, restaurants, Greggs is expanding, and I reckon even into this they will continue to do so with their solid financial sheets. Insurance of Legal & General. Now, Legal & General have taken a hit because of the interest rates, and I will be keeping an eye on them. But again, something that will carry into the future, I believe, so I'm going to keep them. National Grid, not much else to say. Utilities, they're a giant over here in the UK. I'm keeping them. Relax, research and consultancy. Now, it is probably the only informational stock on this. However, its future is to be determined. You can probably tell through my voice. I'm thinking it through in my own head about them. Royal Mail sits at 16%. Logistics, very important. Now, the future is a bit ropey at the moment because of a multitude of things. But I believe in Royal Mail going into the future. Now, I know currently with the employees, I've seen a lot of comments on the Royal Mail video regarding a lot of the things about the executives and whatnot. I hope things get sorted, because as a company, I think they're really solid. And I'll have to see what their next dividend pays out and a few other things. Capital goods, we go on to trading companies and distributors. We have our RS Group sitting there. Paper packaging and recycling as well, it doesn't point that out, is covered by DS Smith. Healthcare equipment is then covered by Smith and Nephew. You've also noticed maybe B-Box is gone. I have no REITs now. and no supermarkets. I know supermarkets tend to be relatively recession-proof and whatnot, but the reason REITs are gone, REITs took a massive hit when the pound slipped. So again, REITs could be a really good pickup into the future. I'm actually even considering doing a separate REIT portfolio to cover a load of industries. I have a few ideas on that, but at the moment I'm keeping cash and watching the stock market and seeing how it's going. Valuation, so at the moment it's worth 2,335. Its fair value is meant to be 6,000, so it's 63% undervalued, and hopefully I'll be picking up a lot more into the future here. We can go down to future growth. It's 6.4%. Market average and all is pretty high, but for like earnings across most of my companies, that's not an inherently bad thing. Debt levels also not that bad. Debt's not a super scary word to me when it comes to these size of companies. 5.7%, bit skewed. I think it's closer to 4.5 to 5 because Royal Mail's 14% isn't super reflective at the moment. We'll have to see what they pay in the next one. Everything else is between sort of 2% upwards of 8% with legal in general. Again, this is meant to be not a balanced portfolio, but I do have a range of yields. But what they all do share is that they have an increase in dividend. The dividend per share, or what is it? The dividend. Why did that? It's left my head here. The dividend value per share. That's not it. I'm gonna pick a company. I'm gonna go to the dividend. What's it called? Dividend per share. Yeah. So their dividend per share is increasing. Yield, I'm not looking at yield at the moment, so the yield kind of bypasses me. I want to see, dividend per share. I want to see that value increase. And all these companies, at least 90% of these companies tick that box as having a growing dividend per share increase year on year. So again, with a recession, with plenty of things, I'm going to show you just the calendar or the dividend chart here now. £1.50 for Greggs. End of November, we'll have the RS Group, Smith & Nephew, Coates and DS Smith. So I'm looking at approximately £14.51 for November, making it one of my best months. March is meant to be massive if, obviously at current rates, they're expecting Royal Mail to pay £20. I don't know. I'm a bit doubtful on that one. We're averaging at the moment sort of £8 to £9 per month. Of course, there's no payments in December because Unilever, Shell, was in these months and now they're gone. Now, I just want to be clear, there's a lot happening at the moment in the world and everything. So I will also be doing US dividend stocks. Those videos are on their way for this weekend. They might probably all be out already by the time you see it. And there's plenty of content coming to the channel. I'm looking into just consistently doing company reviews. I'll be doing wee vlogs on the side just to discuss things, probably structure them a wee bit better as well. And I will be looking into comparing companies side by side because there's a really good compare feature. Let me just go into here where I can compare and I can bring up Tate and Lyle. And I can set them side by side and you can go through everything. So that's a series that is in the works. Other than that, that's me. I will be starting a US dividend portfolio as well because the US isn't doing particularly great in the stock market as well. So there's a few companies that could be worth a pickup now. Maybe not so much a few months ago at the all-time highs, but maybe now could be a good opportunity. But again, lots to come. Thank you for joining me as always. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.